peeps, this is Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. I am bringing you a deck review of the Crystal Tarot, and this is by Elisabetta Trevisan, and this is a Lo Scarabeo deck. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Those of you that look through my my YouTube channel and all my deck reviews notice that I have a lot of Lo Scarabeo decks, and I'm just a fan of that publishing company. So just your average box here, but it is laminated, so it's a little bit stiffer than your average paper box, so that it can protect the cards a lot better. I actually bought this off of somebody in one of the Facebook groups that I frequent. So I have several woo-woo type Facebook groups, and I was able to procure this for a awesome price. So here we have Elisabetta Trevisan, and it has just a little bit about this deck on the back. Okay, so looking inside before we take a look at the cards. Oh, it's the card that comes with every one of these Lo Scarabeo decks. Your Terosophy card. And then here you have the Crystal Tarot card, the Trocchi di Vetro. Okay. If you notice on the back, it's not really, made for reversals, but you could do reversals anyway. You do whatever you want. It's your tarot deck. You guys are the masters and mistresses of your domain. So what really drew me to this is that it almost looks like mosaic or stained glass with the coloring, and I was just like, I must have this, and I got it for a really good price, and it came promptly, and I think it was done up really nice, and it came with a nice little note, and so I really appreciate that. And sometimes I appreciate getting decks from the Facebook groups and swap groups and trade groups and things like that, because I just think it's so much more personal. It's like you're hanging out with a friend, and they're like, hey, hey, I'll sell you this for whatever price, and it's it's not like people are trying to rip you off or anything like that. Okay, so let's get to the little white booklet here, and kind of goes into the nature of tarots and kind of how the Crystal Tarot ties in with that. It talks about their version of the major arcana and words that could be associated with that. And then they go into chalices, which are cups. You got your pentacles, you have your wands, and you have your swords. Okay, and then it tells you about kind of shuffling of the cards and things like that. And then it goes into Italian and your various other languages. So there you go, pretty simple. Sometimes these are a little bit more in depth, just depending on the deck you get. Sometimes they give you a lot of backstory about the artist, or about where the inspiration for the deck came from, or this was somebody's baby, somebody's project, and sometimes I like to read about that, but this unfortunately doesn't have too much about it. So let's go ahead and put these cards away. And again, I like to use these extra cards as bookmarks. Okay, so here are your cards. And I think the backs are beautiful. Like I said, it's almost like mosaic or stained glass. Or if you ever remember in elementary school when your elementary school teachers were trying to get you to make a project for your moms or dads, and you did something on construction paper that was supposed to mimic stained glass, and so your teacher gave you like these little squares of tissue paper, and then you glued them all over the paper, and it kind of came out something like this. So that just kind of reminds me of that. This deck does have pip cards in it. But that doesn't bother me. I have been working with pip cards as of late, and that's not something I was used to working with, but I have gotten used to it. Okay, so as you notice here, and I laugh because this card comes up with for me every single time, and even when I do deck reviews, and I just randomly pull some cards, it's like Empress. You know, that is my card. That's just my card. And literally, you know, I've made a few deck reviews tonight, and this card has come up a lot already. Okay, so you have the Empress in Italian up here. You have it down here. You have it in Spanish. You have it in German. You have it in English. For a lot of people, these big white borders are really distracting. So I know a lot of people that have trimmed their decks, but of course it's affected the backs. So I don't know. That's just personal preference. I would say that I'm not too bothered by the big white borders. I mean, I could probably do without, but you know, I think I'm fine. I'm not terribly picky. You know, I can zone in on the pictures basically. So just go ahead and take a look at some of this detail, especially with my girl, the Empress. She is definitely my girl. And there's just so much beauty to these cards. And it is a pip deck, but when we get to the pips, I'll show you. Okay, so it's, I would say, a semi-illustrated pip deck. So you guys all know what the Two of Swords is. So here you see like turbulence in the clouds, you see lightning strike. So it's like, it sort of has some imagery that goes along with the pips. And I will be showing all of these cards, so if you do not wish to see all of them, turn your head, fast forward, that is up to you. Hey, I just love the queens. Just, I don't know, just something about it. And maybe, you know, maybe I'm just preaching to the choir, but sometimes you just see images of certain decks and you're like, man, you know, that's not something that would normally appeal to me, but I have to have it. Something about it draws me to it, gets me to work with it, and I just get so much guidance from it and so much work. I have used this for client readings, but not much. I more use this for personal readings. Every once in a while I have a client that requests this deck, and I'm not usually one of those people that's like, you know, choose one of my decks and we'll use that for your reading. I usually choose a deck intuitively, but you know, if I'm reading for a friend and they're at my house, then usually they will choose from one of my decks. My kitten walking around in the background there. He finally did get to go outside, but it's been really muggy and really rainy today, so my little water puma decided he wanted to go out in the water, so I let him play out in the rain for a little bit, and then he came in, had to dry off his little footsies. He loves water. He loves when it's warm and there's water, so he loves the dryer when there's like warm, wet laundry in there. And he loves to hang out in the shower after we've taken a shower. He just likes to hang out in the water. He's our little water kitten. Look at the eyes on the devil. I'm just like, yush. And all that crinkling you hear, he's playing on some tissue paper. I got this gift from somebody I refer to as my Filipino mom. And it came with a lot of tissue paper. She gave me this gift. and he's been racing through the tissue paper. So that's like his toy for right now. Okay, so there's the deck. I just want to give you guys a quick shuffle. I always like, I don't know, I like to hear cards shuffle. I like to hear how they shuffle. So I would do that for you. So, you know, they shuffle really well. Okay, so there you have it. You have Elisabetta Trevisan's Crystal Tarot. If you enjoyed this review, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe. Check out the information box down below for my website and my Etsy page, my Instagram, all of that social media goodness. And, you know, for if you want to set up a reading and all of that good stuff. So I will catch you guys later, possibly in another deck review or possibly the weekly reading for next week. And catch you guys later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.